Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. My name's Chelsea Sandifer, and I'm going to be your occupational therapist assistant. I know that you seen the OTR the other day, but I just wanted to formally introduce myself because we're going to be spending a lot of time together. Um, so, how have you been today?
I've been good. I've been good. I've been cold.
Yeah, the weather is so crazy in East Tennessee, ain't it?
Yeah, it
It
is.
was like hot yesterday, and now it's like what 40 degrees
Hey,
outside.
I know it's supposed to snow tomorrow.
I tell you. That weather's crazy. But yeah, so what have you been into today?
Well, I went and ate, and then I went and ate ice cream.
Okay. What kind of ice cream is it?
I ate Moose Tracks.
Is that your favorite kind?
No, all kinds are my favorite kind.
I like all ice cream too. Well, are you kind of ready to get started?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, good. Well, I know that the OT probably explained what occupational therapy was the other day, but do you remember what it is, or do you need me to explain it to you again?
Well, I remember what it is kind of, but I thought for you to explain it to me again because sometimes I forget.
Okay. Well, so I'm here to see, what you do on a daily basis, see if you're having trouble with it, and then if you are having trouble with it, it's my job to make sure that I find ways that you're still able to do any of those activities. So, for instance, like um, if you're having trouble dressing, if you're having trouble cooking, cleaning, driving, anything that you do on a daily basis that you could possibly think of, um, that's my job to help you. And so, you said that I kind of read in your chart that you had a stroke. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and it's left you with left-sided weakness.
Right.
Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, that's definitely a life-changing event, and I'm sure that's really difficult for you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that I take you into consideration, and I want to make sure that anything that you could do previously that you still want to do now and you're having difficulty with that, I want to make sure that we find a way that you can still enjoy those activities, regardless if you have left side weakness at all. Because, we want you to be able to be successful and enjoy those activities as much as possible, even though you've had a stroke. So,
Okay.
so yeah. So it's my job. I'm here to carry out all the interventions, and so all the therapy. You'll see me quite often. I'm going to carry out all the stuff that the OT has for me, and I'm going to help you to create goals, and I'm going to document some things about your progress, and I'm going to address any type of function that you may have difficulty with. But I also want to address your safety as well because that's definitely going to be a concern since you are having some weakness on that left side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for the most part, like I told you before, is I want to make sure that you are taken into consideration. I want to make sure that you find everything that we're doing in therapy purposeful, meaningful, and so everything that we work on together, I want to make sure that you find purpose in it because that's the only way that we're going to be able to be successful together because we're like a team. Okay.
Okay.
So, was there anything before, like that you, and since you've had your stroke, that you've noticed that you've had difficulty doing? Is there like something specific that you can recall previously that you could do, but you having difficulty to do now? Difficulty doing now.
Well, I usually like going with my family to lunch after church on Sundays, and I've just noticed that I'm having a hard time cutting up my food and drinking from my straw. And I just, well, the other day, I was trying to drink out my drink, and I almost spilled my drink because I was trying to hold the cup and the straw, and now my family has to cut my food and hold my straw for me. I just don't want to be a burden on them.
Yeah, and that's something, and those two things in particular are very simple that we could do, that we could work on together. That just some adaptations and modifications that we can work on together. That's going to be really simple for you to do because I'm sure. How did that make you feel?
I mean, I was embarrassed.
Yeah, I would be. That is something that seemed so simple, and then now since your stroke, that's what's limiting you, is being able to enjoy that time, that quality time with your family.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can definitely work on that. And so do you kind of know what, when I say intervention, do you know what that is?
No, not really.
Okay, so an intervention is basically whenever you told me that you're having difficulty with whenever you're out to eat with your family. So it's my job to intervene and kind of make sure that I figure out a way to make it to where it's possible for you to go out to eat with your family and for it to be an enjoyable time for you and without having to feel like you're being a burden to your family, without having to worry about whether or not you're going to spill your drink, you know? And there's some simple things that I can help you to incorporate with that you may not have thought of. That way that we can be able to move past you just being it, you just having weakness, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Did that kind of make sense a little bit better?
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So it kind of helps if you have any trouble with not understanding some of the words that I'm saying or what I'm talking about when I say intervention or if I say anything in the future, you know, you just let me know what you need to know so I know that you are understanding everything and what this whole process is together. Okay? So let's get started. So I told you we can incorporate some really easy interventions. So let's start out with cutting. So whenever you're cutting like a steak or something or like a piece of chicken or any of your food, I would understand why that would be difficult. Can you kind of show me what you would be doing if you was just using your right hand?
I don't know, I'll just get the knife and...
Right. And so your plate's moving everywhere, and it's almost near impossible to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So some easy ways to do this is that we could incorporate, it's called a rocking knife, okay? And so we can use a knife, and the only thing it'll do is you just rock it back and forth, and that'll help you to be able to cut your food without having to use your left hand to hold it with a fork, because you're not going to have that ability to do that as you once did before your stroke.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to make sure you can still be able to do that so that way you don't have to ask your family to cut your food. If you're at home, you can also use, if you're having to cook or if you're having to cut your food at home, I'm sure you don't want to carry this around with you or anything like that, but you can use a pizza cutter. And this pizza cutter will also, you can be able to cut your food using a pizza cutter, just rocking it, sliding it back and forth, and it's rolling, and that'll cut your food as well. So that's something simple you can use at home, and you can try it.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's a lot easier.
Just like that. Yep. And so the other thing that we could do is we could get that rocking knife, and then you could, bring that with you. You could slide it in your purse. You could just have it with you, and then anytime you're out to eat with your family, you could already have that with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something simple that we can do. Whenever you mentioned about your straw, I know how difficult that could be because I spill my drink all the time, and I have difficulty with that anyway. So I can only imagine how that may feel for you as well. So we want to make sure that you don't spill your drink on yourself or anybody else, and we want to make sure that's going to be easier for you. And so you can start bringing a tumbler. So this already has your straw in there. It already has a opening for your straw.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not have to worry about your straw rolling around and then you have to catch it, and it's already right there. All you have to do is pick it up and drink. And then you won't have to worry about trying to, make sure your straw's in the position it needs to be in, and trying to catch it whenever it's rolling around with that ice. So this would be an easy way. You can just be like, hey, I've got my drink right here, and so yeah, this would be something easy. And tumblers are really in right now too. So you could always just buy you a really cute one or something like that. So you can try that. Yep, you could slide it or you could pick it up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I mean, do you think those are things that you could definitely incorporate that could really help you during your Sunday lunches?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's really going to help your quality time, going to relieve that stress from you, and we're just going to start working further in the future. And so, yeah, I hope
Okay.
that helps.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you.